Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great week. And I had probably the best week that I've had in the last 2 months. Ironically, this is the official start of summer or summertime trading. And I have my best week. Now, I'm not expecting this to continue. I'm not going to have those expectations and cause me to start trading outside of myself and start pushing the envelope. No, we're not going to do that. But I'm really, really pleased to end this week strong, to end this month strong, and go into this small account deal, with a lot of confidence. Now, I heard you guys. Um, I heard your cries. You guys want to see me trade this to show you. Me, I'm not the type person to just teach you how to do it. I like to show you how to do it. I like to prove to you that it can be done if you have the right education, if you have the right strategies, and if you develop the right skills. You know, this is the best training you could get. So we're gonna start that on Monday. You guys, if you're trading a really really small account, it could be sub $1,000, and you want to really know how to grow it, and you want to have the best opportunity to grow your account, come join me. You won't be disappointed. If you are, then I'll definitely sit down and talk to you about it and try to figure out what I could do to make it better for you. That's just the way I go. So look for that starting next week. But I have a quote here that I want to share with you real quick before we get into my day today and how we ended the month up. Wisdom is given to no man until he asks for it. Now this is a very powerful quote by Manly P. Hall, which is another professional educator. And to be honest with you, until you're able, until your mind asks for the knowledge, you're not going to receive it. Your only limit to learning is your mind. And if your mind is not ready to receive it, if it doesn't ask for the knowledge, you can sit in class, or you can listen to me, or you can listen to somebody else and never learn a thing because your mind was not open to learning. Your mind was not asking for that knowledge. It wasn't thirsting, for that knowledge. So, for instance, when I was teaching high school, I could have kids in my class for 9 months, and they never asked for any knowledge. Their minds were never open. They never learned hardly. They never learned a damn thing. But they come back for the second part of the class. They're seniors, some, like a light switch just flipped on them, and they're asking, they're wanting, they're demanding the knowledge. So you're not going to get it until you ask for it, until your mindset is right. Because again, your only limits to learning is your mind. And one thing I didn't write this quote down, but or not a quote, but it's a philosophical thought. You know, the knowledge that you get is meaningless until your own experiences has given it meaning. Meaning until you start acting on this knowledge, it's not going to mean anything to you. You know, it could be you engaging in the community and watching me trade and asking questions and trying to understand what I'm doing, and while you're getting ready to start taking your trades. you know it's meaningless until you actually get out and start trading. putting the rubber to the road. That's when, you know, the wisdom, the knowledge you get, it's going to mean something. So this may be too deep for Friday, but I just wanted you guys to um to think about that because I work with a lot of traders. I do a lot of mentoring sessions, and a lot. There's several of you, and we've talked about it, that you have to open your mind. You have to engage in the learning process. It's not just you know, getting on a call and listening to me. You have to put the things that we talk about into practice. Unless you do, it really doesn't mean anything to you, and you're really not going to gain anything from it. All right, so um, we'll take before we get into my week. I want to apologize for the mic if it's messing up, if it's low. I'm on my mobile station. I'm up here in beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Um, Spending the weekend with my brother-in-law and his wife. They're taking us a couple of places. Really excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow night we're going to see this group, Mandolin Orange. They're supposed to have a dynamic show. Their show's supposed to be a little bit different this time. Um, so we're going up to Virginia to watch them. But they're taking me to Mount Airy, North Carolina. And I'm a big Andy Griffith fan. I grew up watching Andy Griffith, and it's funny. I live so close to Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is the city that they kind of based Mayberry off of, and I've never been. So, really excited about tomorrow. But, real, I guess I shouldn't be rambling on anyway. Y'all want to hear about my trade, so we're gonna jump on that. Um, WSM, and this is what's really caught my attention this week. I think I might have made money on one opening range breakout or breakdown, and it never really followed through. I was able to take profit once, and then that's it. I haven't had time to go back and look at all my trades yet. Like I said, I'm on the road, but it's like I was maybe 1 out of 7 or something. I don't know right off the hand, but I know these opening range trades just did not work this week. The trend continuation trades, all of them really picked up the pace, and then the earnings. So a lot of times you will have one strategy not work. The market is just not conducive to that strategy, or either your timing is off and you're not applying the strategy to the market in a way that it could work for you. Whatever the case is, you're gonna go through that. And I kind of went through that this week, but my confidence is high. This was a solid week. But WSM just added to the ones that didn't work. Here's the opening range high. I caught the breakout. Um, this level, now you can say that this was probably my fault because I got in here and I didn't want to take profit here. I was looking for a larger move. I was, and I have a habit sometimes of ignoring a level, even though it's a pivot from the daily chart. Sometimes I feel at the open it's a little bit um, weaker, and we should just break through it and run to the level that I want. And it didn't do that, so I ended up having to stop out once we broke the technical level here, and only lost 179.20. This is a lot better than yesterday because the one yesterday just blew me up. Um, I took a little bit more of a loss than I really wanted to on that, but I can deal with today. And you can see it did wash out, come all the way back. Never did make that move up that I was looking for out of the gate. So that was that. JNJ. This wasn't the second trade I took, but this was a breaking news play, and I was really trying to demonstrate how I trade these. And I wait for the initial move, and then well, part of this wick is covered up, but it did wick down a lot and then came back, and that's when I was ready to short this again. Once it came back, I was using the high of this candle as my stop, and I got in. It started to work. It was looking good for a minute, and then it bounced, ended up taking me out, and never did sell off. These stocks, typically, if they work, they're going to work immediately. So, not giving it a whole lot of time was by design. Taking it off when I did was by design, because these typically they're going to go. If they don't go, the smart thing is to take it off. And, that's what I did on this. So, you know, I managed my risk on this. My execution was right where I wanted it to be, but the trade just didn't work. So OKTA, if you can recognize this one. This is the stock that I traded on earnings yesterday. Had a really nice move on it, and this morning, it started running back up. It woke up at the open, made a really nice move up, and so I came in on the secondary move. Here's the flagpole right here. I know it doesn't look perfect, and this is where experience comes in. Not all flags are going to look right, and you're going to have to learn how to identify these patterns while they are, you know, developing. You can't trade this, wait for the pattern, and then come in later, draw this, and then get in. If you do, you're going to be late. You're going to miss the move. So I know this is kind of sloppy, but this is a flag. I just drew from the top of here. Here's a flagpole. I draw a trend line here. I draw a trend line here, and wait for the break. And what I like to do is I like to wait for the break of the flagpole. Some people like to get in early off of, anticipating the break. But for me, being down, I know my first trade was a loser. I know I was red. I'm not going to take any more risk. So what I did was I waited for the break of the high of the flagpole. Okay, so the break of this high, that's what triggered my entry. I got in. We got a little pullback to the 9 here, which is understandable. You're going to get that. And it held a 9, hit my first target, and I just, started taking it off as we hit targets. This one was up to 120. This is where my target was on this, but it failed, and it came back, and I stopped out, just below the 20 here. Then I waited for it to test this, and I felt really confident about fading this 50 to get to VWAP. And I got in here, and for a minute I felt really stupid. But, we were in a downtrend. This stock was heavy, and, I held on to it. Ended up getting the first cover here, second cover here at the first cover here at the VWAP, second here at the 100. 114 was my next one. And then the final one was around 113. Not 113. Excuse me. I was looking for 112. If it hung up here, I would have taken it. But I was looking for 112. This was the 52-week high that we broke the previous day. And I was looking for it maybe to fall back here, maybe fall to the 200 on this 5-minute chart. Whatever the case was, it just didn't make it to any one of these levels. So ended up taking it off right before the close, and made a pretty good penny on it. 829.61, and this is just straight up trades. No earnings on Friday. This was just straight up trading. Beautiful trend continuation trade on a stock that had the ability to move. It had the room. Um, it didn't have all that great of a volume, but we did get some volume come in. We did have some volatility, and it turned out to be a really nice trade. So, really happy about anchoring my week with this. All right, so let's look at where we are for the week. Um, 15, 17, 12 is what we got for the week. You can see the last 2 days have really been good. First 2 days were okay. You know, we were off Memorial Day, so not bad for a short week. 15, 17, 12, and 48, 30, 79 for the month. Now, when I get back home, probably the first recap of next week, I'll show the equity curve. You know, I'll have that, the data entered in that, and the curve should be up, graded by then. But just wanted to let you know this is where or how I ended up for the week. This is where we are for the month and year to date. From starting with that $5,000. Remember, we started with $5,000 January 1st. And every month I wire out and start with $5,000. And we've turned that into $21,612.04. That is, I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but that's nothing to sneeze at. We are trading a smaller account under the PDT rule. And, so we have to use these brokers that cater to small accounts. The fees and commissions may be a little bit higher, but if you know how to trade, the fees don't really mean anything. They don't mean a thing. So the main thing is you learn how to trade. The goal is not to stay here, but to work yourself out of this deal. Okay, work yourself out of it. And then you'll have enough money to open up, a regular broker. So that's where we are for this week. I still think we could have done better, but it is what it is. So you guys take it easy. Hopefully, I'll be able to live stream on Sunday morning like we normally do, so we can do the watch, let's build, and strategy session. If not, I'll be sending an email. I don't know how that hotel's set up until we get there, so then I'll know whether I'll be able to do anything Sunday morning or not. I should be. I'm very optimistic that I can, but I really don't want to make a promise that I know I can't keep. So just have to wait and see what the situation is at the hotel. Um, but if I don't see you guys on Sunday, I will see everybody first thing. Yeah, first thing Monday morning. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you next week.